We live now.
Okay, cool.
Funky fresh, funky, funky fresh, funky fresh, funky fresh, funky, funky fresh, funky fresh, funky fresh, funky, funky fresh, funky fresh. The enemy's coming. Funky fresh, funky fresh, funky fresh. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. The enemy's coming.
Because we have been deceived. We have been told we are in a democracy where everybody is equal. The truth and the reality is that we are in a system of racism, white supremacy.
Avoid racial shadowboxing. When victims of racism, non-white people, that's who we are directly or indirectly assigned, bribed, coerced, or otherwise influenced by the white supremacists to speak and or act to do harm to other victims, such speech or action can be described as, quote, racial shadowboxing.
The American people don't know what's going on in this country. The country is going to hell. It ain't black people sending it there. We are the victims of what is going on.
Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
Read the Tavistock Institute. Every lecture I show this book. These are written by white boys long before us. This was going on. They came to America as operatives coming among us. Remember back in the day, this book talks about the nefarious niggerization of hip-hop, the first millennium edition of the American Directory of Certified Uncle Toms. It talked about how these young white boys started establishing all these record companies, these subsidiaries, because their parents owned the majors. They got distribution, so they could sign the brothers to these subsidiary labels. Are you following me? They were the ones that said that they were gonna make you calling yourself a nigga very popular.
Peace. Peace. This is the enemy's public, and I am Bro.Nasir. I hope everyone's enjoying their evening. Today, we're going to speak about amnesia, memory loss, or are our people just plain stupid? I have my co-host with me, my two brothers, Key Norfolk and my brother, T. Wriggles. Thank you, brothers, for tapping in. Thank you for joining me this evening. I appreciate it. Salute to you both. And I'm just going to get right into it. Now, wise men who have come before us taught us that history best rewards us in our research. They taught us that our people have suffered because of a lack of knowledge. Now, in the age of information with unlimited access on social media, we now suffer because of a lack of understanding. My question is, do we as a people suffer from amnesia, memory loss, or are we just as stupid as people think we are? Do we as a people have an attention deficit? Because it seems to me that we can only focus on one thing. That would be a good thing if we were focusing on ourselves. Yet that is not the case. It's a lot going on, yet our people are only focusing on one thing. Nowadays, our people are only focusing on immigration. We've been convinced that immigration is the number one problem in America just totally forgot about white supremacy that's being committed by immigrants. An immigrant who's a president who have benefited and are benefiting from birthright citizenship. Now, I won't negate that illegal immigrants are committing heinous crimes here in our communities. Now, that's a known fact, yet others are committing crimes in our communities also. Added on to what we do to each other, there's a lot of problems among our people. We have a lot of enemies, foreign and domestic. Yet the ones that solve our problems shouldn't be among our enemies. We cannot allow those who create our problems to solve our problems. What are they spraying in the air that's affecting our people that made us forget that who we are dealing with? I'm going to say it again because I said this before. Whatever a nation doesn't condemn, they condone. A wise man once told me, be mindful of what we see abroad, because before we know it, it will be at our doorsteps in our communities. Now, the National Guard is supposed to guard the nation, not police our neighborhoods. The police are already here in our communities in abundance, and they themselves are a damn problem. They're not public servants, yet they are authoritarians who want to assert power over the people, not to serve and protect. Given the history of America concerning our people, what gives this system credibility? What makes the United States altogether trustworthy? When after all we've been put through, others have laws. Just imagine everything that our people went through, other people have laws that protect them as a protected class of people. In 2025, one of our children can be jumped by a group of white boys being called a nigger while they're doing it, yet it's still not considered a hate crime, according to the sheriff. Now, those of us, rightfully so, who are angered by the murder of our young sister, Dara Thompson, by an illegal immigrant, must understand that we are targeted by everyone. The perpetrator of that heinous crime need more than prison when he's tried and convicted. We shouldn't spend no money on him, housing him in a prison on death row. He should die an excruciating execution, slow and painful, as should anyone who do harm to our people or any people. Yeah, we as a people have so many things that we have to focus on. It's just our reality, the position that we're put in. We cannot allow ourselves to be tricked by taskmasters, politicians, and the media. We cannot compromise ourselves or our people. We have to realize that cages in our community, cages in our society, is disguised as comfort zones. So we need to get out the comfort zones. The media will show us over and over all day, every day. They'll show us in our ugliness, to have us call for them to intervene in our affairs. And they will not intervene in our affairs with care or compassion. The reason why they won't intervene in our affairs with care and compassion is because they are the root of our problems. They are the engineering or the engineers of our problem, which is why I say we must be the stupidest people on earth to do that. It's not a slight, it's an observation to affect change in our people. We and we alone should be our focal point. Our importance should be our priority. We're the only people who don't move like this. Everybody else prioritize their people. We are with our inclusion and kumbaya BS. I would not be made or sing kumbaya to be made a coon by y'all. Under no circumstance. Now, with my observation, some hateful white people have convinced some of us that somehow, all of a sudden, they are our allies. And some of our people fall for that. Now, if I'm the only one, which I know I'm not, because I have some comrades on this panel with me tonight. I know I'm not, but this is my sentiment. If I was the only one who didn't fall for that, I'll be by myself. Because we are a people who walk around when something happens in our community, we yell, no justice, no peace. But if we look at it carefully, we receive no justice and no peace because we are among evil people who don't believe in such things as justice or peace, while they swear to establish and maintain it. Only a certain class of people get the luxury of peace. Peace, the absence of anxiety and grief. Peace, a piece of the pie. As a people, we get the crumbs. While it's our money, the taxpayers' money that float through the economy that tyrants use as weapons against us, politicians take care of themselves and their constituents, sending billions to other nations for war weapons, death, and destruction, while telling the people that they're making the world peaceful and safe when they're not. You know the difference between our people today and the people that came before us? They were outside. They were actually doing the work. Regardless if we disagreed with how they was moving, they were outside, putting themselves in imminent danger. They knew what was out there and they went out there anyway. Dogs, water hoses, police with billy clubs, getting busted upside the head, but they went out there anyway, doing what they thought was right at the time, doing the best they could do with the knowledge that they had. Whatever they achieved, we benefit from it today. Yet the difference is that they met up in person, formulated a strategy, and carried it out. People stepped up to lead the charge, and our people followed back then. Nowadays, what we have is screenagers, Negroes sitting inside all day, mentally and intellectually sparring. I know steel sharpens steel. When we go back and forth with each other, we sharpen each other up with the sparring. But we have to do more than sit in front of a screen, dropping screen gems. We got to do more than that. We can't continue to be screenagers. Now, with that said, I want my brothers, T. Wriggles and Key Norfolk, to tap in. Peace, my brothers.
Peace and power.
Peace and power.
Yeah. That was powerful, by the way. And that whole screen ages concept was, epic. because we have to really be able to evaluate things for what they are. You know, I think sometimes our people get caught up in a dream. And, you know, it ain't a dream. It's a dream, but it's a nightmare. It's like when people say spiritual, well, what kind of spirits? Dream don't mean good dream. Dream can mean bad or good dream. So I feel like they put us inside of a outside looking in type of mind frame, and
Yes, sir.
that's what they would say all the time. You got to be outside looking in to keep you from going inside and looking out.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that was profound. That's where you put my mind at when I was listening to the words that you were saying, and you know, we got to remember that the people we dealing with don't have no good intentions for us. See, we keep thinking like they gonna let us do what we want to do, or you know, we gonna get in this system and run it right. It's running right, like we always say.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? If the system's working fine, it just wasn't designed for you.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a cis stem. You know what a cyst is, brother?
Right.
It's a cyst
There's
stem.
a system. Mm,
That's what it is. It's a cyst stem. You know, poisonous. You know,
Yeah.
it's poisonous.
And for that, brothers, I hope my mic is good. But for both of your intros,
I appreciate.
well said.
I,
Is my
I
mic good,
appreciate.
gentlemen?
Yes, loud and clear, brother. Appreciate it.
yeah, peace and harmony.
Okay,
You
right,
know,
because you know that system, and I like to I like to always, you know, say my one of my favorite Dick Gregory lines, right? Because he left us so many gems. He said, "Make no doubt about it. We are in the most evil, nasty, vicious, insane, ungodly, unethical system that's ever existed in the history of the planet." I remember when I first heard those words 20 something years ago, man, that was some powerful things left by, you know, Dick Gregory. And I will never forget that. I will always point the finger at the system that we are under. And I will also, you know, to balance it out, I will also look at all of us. You know, what are we doing? Do we have amnesia? Or do we have memory loss? Or are we that stupid to see the system in play? So, so as my stance here, gentlemen, as along with yours, you know, this system must change, or we do a drastic changing of the system. And I land.
yes, I agree with you as far as like, you know, the condition the system is and what the system is. Yet, I hear people say oft times that the system is rigged, and I disagree with that. As the brother Key Norfolk said, it's working according to how it was designed, so it's not rigged. It would be rigged if we rig it. It's the only
Right.
time it would be rigged if we rig it,
Right.
and we
Look at
swayed
it.
it, we swayed into our favor. You know what I'm saying? But in all actuality, it should be destroyed. Like the brother said, it wasn't designed for us. And a lot of times, some of us, we just want to find a comfortable place in it. We want to be that smart ass that I spoke about before, that one that can be smacked on the ass and made to run and be steered where they want you to go and stay away from that where they don't want you to go, and when they say whoa, your ass stop. That's the smart asses that find a comfortable place in the system, give you anything you desire monetarily, but you are their slave. When they tell you to do something, you have to do it. And that's no way to live. I see people with all the money in the world that any of us can have, hundreds of millions, $1 billion, but are the saddest people that we could behold.
Mm.
Is it free dumb or is it free dumb? That's that's
Facts.
that's one of the other questions. Is it freedom or is it free dumb?
It's freedom, like you said. Free DUMB. It's freedom, which dumb D's and N's is interchangeable, like G's and D's and N's are interchangeable. Dumb could be numb. It's free numb, and that's what you get with this spirit of belief, rather than the insight of knowing. You get a
Exactly.
spirit of belief. Having insight will be you being intuitive and being inside of yourself and being in control of your own house before you can go out and build another. They get you to go build other houses, and then while your house get robbed, and they start to fill the people up. This is their thing. This is the thing with the Holy Grail. They want to fill the people up with what they want the people filled up with, rather than the people being filled by the true nature of themselves, to be able
Yes,
to
sir.
exercise their true power, and a lot of people falling for the trick.
It's like it puts me in the mind of a naive teenage girl who gets sweet talked by an older guy who is predatory. That's what our people put me in the mind of. He sweet talk her and she giggles silly as hell and fall for every damn thing that he say. That's what our people put me in the mind of, especially during election time. But this is the most upset I've been because they put two things in front of us and told us that we had to choose. And some of our people, as Eddie Murphy said, fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
That's
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 what we
right.
Mm.
that's what
That's
our
right.
people did.
And we so stuck on this
Mhm.
entertainment and this media. It's just like the thing with Juneteenth and the thing with the LGBT parade and commemorate or whatever. So why would they
Mhm.
put that with? And we all know with Obama, the civil rights movement was totally demolished with the LGBT movement. It went from black pride to what pride, to
Yeah.
backwards pride. You know, so I know we want to have a lot of
Mm.
connotations on these words and all that. That's just a small aspect. We got to expand our mind and get more to the physical, like you said, being outside. We want to be uh screensavers. That's another one. A screensaver. You want to save through the screen, but there's other jobs to do too.
Like
You
that.
got to go outside. You got to get outside too. It ain't just one sided. It's to be able to. The heavy is the head that holds the crown. So it's gonna
Yes,
take
sir.
more weight than you just doing one aspect and saying, "Well, I just do this." No, you got to do it all. If you're gonna be able to fill that suit, you got to be able to fill that suit. If you own a business, if your employees quit on that day, guess what you got to do to keep your business open? You're going to have to throw that suit on and then you work, or you close your business down. So we got to have our mind like that. It's just like when you plant seeds in a garden, you got to plant seeds inside your mind too and water it and
Yep.
nurture it so it grow in your mind just like
Yes,
you
sir.
do outside. So, I just want people to just understand that it's more of a physical aspect than it is a mental aspect. Because if you ain't living that way, then people ain't gonna really believe your ass anyway. Not no real people. You make a fool of fool, but the person who's not a fool gonna end up fooling you.
Your mind is supposed to make you move. So therefore, if all you're doing is talking and you're not moving, it's a reflection of your mind, because if your mind is stagnated, you are stagnated physically. So we cannot continue to be screenagers, sitting in front of a screen talking about what should be done. We have to do what needs to be done to suffice our people. I don't understand why some of our people play so much and think that it's a play day. It's not a play day. And I don't, a lot of things I don't understand. Not that I don't understand it. It's just that it baffles me how we could only focus on one thing. If Because if you are in a fight, you can't just look out for the uppercut. You gotta look out for the right hook, the right cross, the overhand right. And it's a fight, not necessarily boxing. That means you gotta look out for a foot, a knee, an elbow, a ridge hand, hammer fist. You gotta look out for everything that your enemy's gonna throw at you. And our people want to focus on one thing. And we're falling for it again, what the media tells us. Multi-ethnic destruction in America. That's media. It's the thing now that every time you turn around, they're talking about immigrants. Immigration is a problem. The young sister that was killed by the immigrant, as terrible as that is, that's happening domestically also. Because a white boy did that to a sister and decapitate her. White women are killing brothers. So we can't only focus on what the immigrants are doing, because we have enemies, foreign and domestic, on top of how we treat each other, bro.
On top of it. And
On
then
top of
like
that.
what you were saying was, my point from earlier was when I brought up the LGBT thing with the whole Juneteenth thing. That was a disgrace. That was a slap in the face. No other race would have allowed them to even do that. The men
No,
would have been able to
right.
come together, and they would have been like, "Hey, man, quit playing with us like that." So I'm looking at dudes who celebrate Juneteenth, and they're like, man, you just being weird, man." And I'm like, nah, they trying to say we some pussy ass niggas and y'all celebrate.
See, the thing with me, bro, with Juneteenth, I don't particularly rock with it. But for those who do rock with it, you shouldn't allow nobody to tell you how to celebrate it or marry something else to it.
Facts.
One thing I like about the people of Chicago, when they tried to marry the LGBT community, tried to combine both celebrations, they said, hell no. That's one thing I like, that they said hell no to that, because one thing, both things, they're not synonymous, put it that way. They're not synonymous. Why would you want to marry that to that type of celebration?
Right. Exactly.
And we
That's
have to
my
stop
whole
allowing
thing.
people to do that, bro. We gotta stop allowing people to do that.
Cause it's like we ain't looking at we supposed to be thinking of things in terms of energy, sound, frequency, and vibration. So it's like if somebody flinch at you and you don't do nothing, they know they can probably spit on you. Then if they can spit on you, oh, they know they can hit you now. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You telling them saying nothing and saying a lot sometimes. So a lot of our people were looking for a comfortable seat, like you said, at the table, to where ain't no seat at the table. You got to stand up around the table. That whole thing with the Kendrick Lamar thing at halftime, that was some of the most coonest shit I ever saw in my life. And excuse my language, that was coon work at its finest. And we think that
Well,
shit cool, you know.
I
And
I,
I
I see
understand the
it.
culture.
I seen it as exposure to the Cooney. That's how I
Right,
seen it. I
right,
seen it as exposure to the Cooney because how they did it was like, you ready to play the game, and they showed us what the game is.
right.
That's just
Exactly.
my observation.
It's
They
just like
showed
the
us what the
bootleg.
game was, what you had to do to play the game.
That's right, good
That's my
brother. I'm with
observation.
you. I'm with you 100% on that. Because it's just like the black boule system. See, they got us thinking that it's just white people against us. So we like this white man. But the whole time them dogs was getting sicked on us, it was a group of black men who was the black nobility, who was the boule system. They weren't getting rushed and did like that, though. It's always been these people, these gay guards. You know what I'm saying? It's us against them. So I love when you say what we do to ourselves, because we got some people that look like us, but they not like us. They got black skin or brown skin or copper skin, as you want to say, but they got a white mind because they are for
And
the powers that be.
you're right, brother. And also, brother, the obvious cannot
Yeah, y'all,
infiltrate our
y'all are cooking,
organizations.
having, and it was a Pan African study class, the black male. There was probably roughly around 40 brothers in that room, and everyone, this Professor Spencer went down the line, and every brother told his story. Out of all of those brothers, y'all, there was only two that had both parents in the house. Me and my high school classmate that was there with me. And it was such a shock to me, right? That's the book work I heard. That following year or a year and a half later, I went to work. I went outside. I started coaching, to tally up, because I said, that's not right. Let me go change some things out here. So I'm with the children, and I'm proud of brothers, because a stereotype that something was programmed in my head that, brothers are deadbeat fathers and blah, 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 blah. And during my years of coaching, all the brothers I coached and the fathers were there, present, totally destroying that illusion or that program being installed into my head, and seeing brothers being daddies of the year, and I'm putting in the work, it just, because of the numbers that I kept hearing, I did the work. I,
Yes,
I I
sir.
I helped as much as I could, what I'm saying, for everyone. And so once because you said that the
Yes, sir.
screenagers, you said the screenagers. So yeah, to come outside, and then put the boots on. Yeah, we're in this system. Yeah, it's against us. Yeah, and all of that. But if we put in the work, I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't nothing gonna stop anything that we do if we put in the work.
Brothers, do you realize that we are the personification of no weapons formed against us will prosper? That's us.
Yeah.
That's a
Despite
fact.
everything that was done to us, despite everything that was done to us, bro. Look at us today as a people. Besides the problems that we have, we were able to invent all of this pertinent, essential things. You know what I'm saying? With our minds, with how we think and the thing, how innovative we are. If it was an invention invented by other people, we improved on it and made it better than it was. If we didn't invent it ourselves, we improved it. That's how we are. We'll take something and say, "Nah, we should do it like this," and then improve it. That's just our people.
Yeah.
But we cannot believe what our enemies say about us, because we are, see, if we listen to the media, media will be calling for them to interfere in our affairs. They're not gonna do it with compassion. They're not. So when you hear sisters and brothers talking about how bad our children are, you need to cut that shit out, man. Because they're gonna go out and they're gonna harm our children. And just because these young people do everything they're supposed to do, it don't mean they're not going to be targeted. So you lining the ones who are doing what they're supposed to do, you lining them up too. We can't do that. You just can't be doing that. I disagree with that. If we wasn't screenagers and we was out there. Go ahead, my brother. You got it.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. My bad. I think I'm lagging.
You good. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead, my brother. You got it.
You know, in the world of coaching, Brother Nasir, you know, it's never the child's fault. It's always the coaching. And then in education, why is the child getting bad grades? We point the finger at the parent. So us as a whole, right? Us as a whole, it's our fault that we lead our children astray, right? Because we're not guiding, we're not doing something, you know. And to teach children and to teach the youth, you know, you can only, words will only take you so far. It's what you do is what the children will emulate. So the condition that we're in, I'm looking at top, which would be us, and it trickles down. You know, within the system we're in, we have, you know, I came out of ignorance, right? We weren't goody two shoes. We weren't goody two shoes back in the day. You know what I mean? And so I
was batty one shoe.
you know, and so out of my
goody two shoes. Nope. I mean, I tried to be the best as I could because I didn't want to disappoint my parents. But goody two shoes, hell no.
Hell no. Do you know how many whoopings I got? Being the middle child, I got blamed for my brother's stuff. I got blamed for my little brother's stuff and my stuff. You know, and hey, look, I deserved what I did wrong, you know, but you know, the other things we can debate, but there was no debating in my house. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And so
you did what the hell you was told.
You do what you told and shut up. And that, you know, and I thank my parents for being, you know, extremely hard on me. I absolutely needed that. You know, it brought me out of my ignorance when one of them left this earth. You know, the teachings, the lessons. Every day, my father's voice runs through my head. You know, are you doing this right? Hey,
tell me about it.
Hey, think before you speak. Do you know what I mean? Think before you speak. Hey, be respectable. Speak only when you are spoken to. Don't interrupt. ... Like all of these rules, and I thank my father and my mother for doing a good job with their children. So
Yeah, I thank my parents also, brother. You know, they was, I lost both of them, but they was perfect parents to me. Actuality, bro. They were perfect parents.
yeah,
And out of all the people on the planet, brother, if I could pick my parents, I'd choose the parents that I had, brother. I'm telling you, I choose the
hey
ones
man,
that I had.
look, at least my mother had food every night. I remember she always telling me I wasn't gallivanting out on the streets. I was here raising the children, and when you hear that, it's just like, okay, I gotta respect that. Gotta respect that.
Oh yeah,
And and
yes,
pops,
sir.
and pops. Long story short, I'm what you see now is a product of them in me, and I'm sharpening up even more. And I really do want to solve this problem that we're going through, because whatever problem the brothers are going through here in the States, I know everyone is going through it too, and that's an issue I'm seeing with non-brothers. You feel me? Like, you don't think this is happening to you, so you don't have a drug crisis going on. You don't have family breakdown structures. There isn't the system going after you. Ah, of course it is. It's the main goal of the system is to break the family structure so they can fill their prison pipelines. They can fill the streets with homelessness. You understand? Like, this system
Yeah,
is
exactly.
very, very good at what it does. And
This system, brother, it cares about no one. And if it wasn't for the people, the system wouldn't work. So they use the people in the system, just like
right.
the prison industry. A
Mhm.
prison is nothing but an abandoned building without the people. So they got to do what they could to make it, you know, suffice itself. So they set up a slave code of laws to house people in the prisons.
Mm.
Some of the things that people go to prison for, brother, besides like violent crimes and stuff like that, or ripping somebody off, people are
Mhm.
in prison, brother. They have laws that trick people into prisons, and then they send ignorant ass cops out to go out. See, the thing is with cops, they want to exercise power over people, and they put you in a cage if you don't capitulate to their perceived power. And that's a problem when somebody is put in jail because they don't listen to somebody else who's the only time a cop is over authority over you is when you commit a crime. It's not for them to come and criminalize you. Most case scenario, they criminalize you and they have you and they put you in a damn cage for nothing. Most of the time. I'm not speaking about cops who do their jobs and go home. And it's only a few of them. I don't care who they are. Even the ones that look like us, they are race soldiers too. All of them. They're race soldiers. Because I
Mhm.
see some of them they are worse than they're worse than the cracker cop. Worse,
Facts.
some of them. You look at the sheriff down in Jacksonville, TK Waters. He's just as bad and worse than any cracker I ever seen on the police force. Anyone I seen on the police on
I tell you, yeah, I tell you what's worse. I would tell you what's worse than that, brother Nasir. Officer Tatum. Now that right there is the pinnacle of
that super
our.
nigga.
Oh my God!
That
And
brother, and I say
oh
brother with quotes. I'm like, you know what? Take that back. That's not no brother. That dude is the worst person I ever seen. Like, behold it by. I mean, let me tell you, his father can't be proud of. His parents can't be proud of him. They can't.
ooh, I
There's
say
no
a lot.
way. If he came to a cookout, if he was my relative and he came to a cookout, I would roll him out. I will roll him out. He couldn't be nowhere that I'm around. He cannot be nowhere I'm around.
Yeah, that's
He would definitely have to leave. And I know he think he's on top of the world now
yeah.
because he interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu. I know he think he on top of the world now.
Yeah, yeah. He thinks that look, he is the prime definition of, of if you can't beat him, join him. Like, whoa, whoa.
I mean, that dude, for him, when I see him interviewing Benjamin Netanyahu, I'm looking at, that's like, Brother T. Riggles, when you see Brandon Tatum interviewing Benjamin Netanyahu, it's like, it's to me, it's like taking a lactose intolerant dump and then looking in the toilet. That's what that is to me, brother. Taking a lactose intolerant dump and then looking in the damn toilet after you're done.
Look, that's like taking the KKK leader and saluting him for such a great job he's been doing over the decades. Damn.
They know who to call to get, the propaganda, because you're not going to call someone who loved himself or herself, especially with the shameful pandering that he did, talking about his visit to Israel, how and when he fell in love with Israel because a child spit on him, and then they chastised a child that made you fall. Oh, one child spit on you, right? And because the child was chastised, that's what made you fall in love with Israel.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Forget all the pain and suffering that you see over there, what they're doing to people. And I forgot who it was. Somebody who was representing Israel said the biggest threat to Israel was not one of the Middle Eastern countries. Not them. Not Palestinians, not Iran, not Syria, not Iraq. None of those countries over there. She said the number one threat to Israel was the Black American. And we're all the way to hell over here, bro. That's what she said. The number one threat to Israel is the Black American. And you couldn't give me a free trip, all accommodations paid for. to Israel. You couldn't give me a trip to Israel. I don't have no desires of going to Israel. You couldn't give me a trip to Africa. I don't have no desires to go to Africa. I would rather go to Abu Dhabi or Dubai than those two places. Nope. Don't have no desire of going to neither one of those places. Nope.
And you know
But
what, Brother
people want to
Nasir?
go because. Go ahead, my brother.
You know, I was thinking that, you know, that an incident that Officer Tatum had, I can only imagine if a Jewish person from Israel came down into Harlem. I can tell you right now, I put myself on the whim. I bet you that not one black child would ever spit at that Israel man. Facts. Not one.
No, he wasn't. No, he wouldn't, because we don't teach our children. If that child spit on somebody, that child was taught to spit on people. Because if my child spit on somebody, they won't do it no more. They won't do it no more.
Did you understand me?
I'll get them hind parts.
It would never happen.
You spit on somebody.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. And they got me hearing y'all real low right now, so that's why I kept
That
trying
right.
to go out and come back in. But we gotta discipline our children. I think we were a lot more disciplined
That's
than
taught
that.
behavior. It's taught behavior though, brother.
Oh yeah. So if that child doing it, that means that's been allowed.
Learn behavior.
And
for
allowing
sure.
something
But
is teaching it also.
It's been allowed.
But that spit,
yes, sir,
toward
yes, sir,
how they really feel. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. But that's true. That's the absolute truth, bro. And when what I don't understand is the way they feel about Christians and the way they feel about the way they talk about Jesus, especially in the Talmud. I don't understand how any of them would desire to go there. I don't
either.
Yeah, man. That's why I like to call them for exactly who they are. These are the same people that persecuted Christ. When at the same time they looking for the weeping hand of the world.
Yeah.
When this is the synagogue of Satan. That's who they are. You got to call them by their name. You got to call them by exactly who they are. You know, they got different names they done took upon themselves, but them as a whole hive mind are the synagogue of Satan. Mm-hmm.
Jesus said it himself. Jesus said, according to the Bible, I know who you are. You are of your father, the devil. You were a murderer. You were a liar from the beginning.
That's right.
He knew who they was according to the scripture. So, you know, all the lies that they've done over the years to keep the United States in conflict with other nations. In the United States, I don't understand the stronghold that they have over the United States. Keep the United States in some bullshit, man. With the lies that they tell, and people are United States. Yeah, the United States will get up here, the president or people in the Congress and the Senate, especially presidents. They'll say a Middle Eastern country like, say, Iraq or Iran or Syria, they don't like us because we're better, we're greater, or whatever reason. But they'll never say these countries don't like us because the unwavering support that they have for Israel, no matter what they do. They don't say that. No matter what they do, what Israel do, they support Israel. What Israel doing today is being supported because it's not being condemned. It's not being condemned.
The most treacherous, most vampires people that there is on the planet. And ain't it ironic that they say Christ was the king of the Jews, and them the same damn people who hung his ass?
And that's crazy. No matter what Benjamin Netanyahu do over there to brother, starving children, people that going to get food, they say they giving aid, humanitarian aid, but when the people go for it, they shoot at them. And then Netanyahu will come and lie and say they're hiding this person or they hiding that person to justify doing it when it's proof that's not the truth. Only thing I can say about that, brother, is that especially this guy we got in office now, he'll do that because he asked his Secretary of Defense, can we at least shoot the protesters in the leg?
Sound like him, man.
At least shoot him in the leg. You don't got to kill him or nothing. Just shoot him in the leg.
You know how I view this. For me, I understand. Look. I know all Jewish people ain't bad. It's your, it's your,
of course not.
It's your government, the people in high officials, and it's the same thing here. People love outside of America. People love Americans, but our government does so much. Pardon my French here. Does so much fuckery around the world. It's almost like we both parties have no control over our governments, and this government and this system. The system here is one of the major issues we're having. Yeah, we can put the blame on us too. Don't get me wrong. We'll adapt. We've got to get educated and and the poverty and the generational wealth gap. And look, but the majority, I'm gonna say like 80% of the issue is the system at play. You feel me? Dr. King even said it. And he apologized when he came out of his ignorance. Because we were all ignorant at one point. When he came out, he said, "Man, I tell my people to a burning house, man. I'm sorry. Identifying the system." Go ahead, brother. My bad.
It's not. Most people, including myself, don't have problem with the Jewish people.
Yeah.
We got a problem with the government, Netanyahu, the IDF. You know what I'm saying? Got a problem with them. Even Jewish people got a problem with them. I can show you some videos where Jewish people condemning Israel. Like, nah, and they apologizing for what Israel is doing to people. A lot of them, the non-Zionist Jewish people, they don't like that because it's a bad reflection on them. Because it's a bad reflection on them. That's why they don't like it. Because they want to actually live according to how the people perceive them. Okay, they're supposed to be good people. They're trying to be good people.
Yeah.
But Benjamin Netanyahu, the IDF, and all them dudes, them some wicked, evil ass people, man. They evil. They're evil as hell, man.
Oh, did you hear? Did you hear Bro.Nasir doing? I guess one of the wars that Israel is doing, or whatever they're doing over there. Some people found talismans, witchcraft artifacts on the floor. Like, whoa,
I
Hold
wouldn't put
on.
it past them, bro. I wouldn't put it past them based on what they're doing to the people over there, the children, the men, women, and children. Now, I can understand the rules of engagement when it comes to war. You hit military targets and you're at war with military to military, but they're not fighting military. They fighting, they bombing people that's throwing damn rocks and swinging sticks. But
Look, man.
as soon as they bombed Iran struck back. What did they do? They cowered and came running to the United States, asking the United States to help. That's exactly how it happened. When they bombed Iran struck back and they came running to the United States. It's like the little brother that got the big brother who's strong and can fight, he can thump, but you got a little brother who's trying to be a bully based on his brother's hand skills. You don't got the hand skill like your brother, but you clout chaser because that's your brother. You can run to him all the time. Me, I will let my little brother get his ass kicked. You want to start fights, you're going to get a fair one. You're going to get the fade.
Yeah.
To show you that you need to stop starting trouble.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy, Brother Nasir? You know, everyone sitting back looking at what's happening to brothers, and everyone's just sitting back. As we're all sitting back looking at what's happening in Gaza. And look, I can guarantee you the whole world has said something about Gaza and nothing, absolutely nothing happens. You feel me? Just as here, people are seeing, Americans, okay, are seeing the conditions that the brothers are in, and no one saying kind of nothing about it. It's changing. You know, I'm hearing more people speak about certain issues, especially like the Cincinnati brawl, right? And people coming out and said, no, the Russian dude was wrong. The Russian dude was wrong. Russian dude was wrong. You damn right he was wrong.
That's fact.
Right. And so it's changing slowly. It's changing slowly, but it's changing slowly, but overall, worldwide, man, we got some serious real serious work to do.
The system is getting weak. The system getting weak, brother T, because as you spoke, you know, it's the system is trying to maintain itself, but the people are not going for it no more. All people are realizing that the system is a problem.
Yeah.
All people. And I'm not under no illusion. I watch things on a protracted period, and then I make my decision on how I'm going to move on something. I don't just move prematurely, blindly. I don't do that. I watch things and I watch people on a protracted period. Then I make my decision on how I'm going to move. But it seems to me, with, you know, based on what your observation, and I see it the same way, people in Cincinnati, they're like, no, they told the truth, how the fight started.
Right.
But you take the prosecution still trying to lie. Yeah. Still trying to lie about what happened.
Yeah.
Even if several people came and told them what happened, they're still trying to lie, say that the man that was smacked started the whole thing. Let me tell you something. Somebody smacked me in my face, it's going to be a situation. We're gonna move some utility poles, traffic light poles. We're gonna move a lot of that stuff around.
Yeah, of course.
We're gonna move that stuff around. We're gonna bend telephone poles. We're gonna bend them. We're gonna tear some things up. What made that man think that he could smack somebody in the face and don't get his ass whooped?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
racist altogether. That's racist right there. Who told you it's okay to slap a brother?
Yeah.
And you know, and there goes that American thing. That man's Russian, so you're not going. So you're not going to go to the aid in the defense of the American.
That part.
That Russian slapped an American, bro. That Russian slapped an American.
Yeah.
What is he? What is he? A foreign diplomat or something?
I don't know who he is, and I don't care, honestly. I mean, I just looking at the situation. A man slapped another man, and then someone got his butt kicked. Okay, and the story, you know. But look at what the system did, as you just explained, and then you had the news media come out and not tell the whole story. See, this is the problem here. You feel me? Like the higher echelons of our society. Look, this stuff needs to get cleaned up, washed up immediately.
The media is maniac European devils in action.
Oh,
news, never-ending white supremacy.
Listen, man. Listen, brother. I mean, this is the only way we're gonna change this, right? Is to stand on this truth and justice. Truth and justice. Period. Now, let me ask you something, Brother Nasir, right? Because I love the title. I love this title. So when we speak about Officer Tatum, is he got amnesia? Does he have memory lost? Or is he just plain stupid? Which one you picking?
He's just plain stupid. If it's a word dumber than stupid, can you please enlighten me with it, brother? Nincompoop, imbecile, ignoramus, jackass,
imbecile,
all of them, imbecile. He's all of them, ignoramus.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. And you got to put the re in the beginning. You just hard.
He's a nincompoop.
Where would you put? See, look. Let's talk about our folks right now, right? So okay, we got Officer Tatum. So where would you put a good old hair slick back on the news media once a week, Al Sharpton? Where would you put that, brother?
Al Sharpton don't have amnesia. He don't have memory loss.
Right.
He's in a stupid category, and he's also just he's in a stupid category.
Yeah.
And Al Sharpton is also just he's just a tool, brother.
Yeah, man.
He's just a tool for them, and he don't realize that he won't be a tool collecting dust after they're done using them. They break their tools when they're done with them. That's what they do. They break their tools when they're done with them. When they have no use for you, they don't put you in a shed to collect dust. They break their tools. You know why? I've been saying it for years. They do the dirt with you to get the dirt on you. They know you did it because they was there, and because they're the power structure, they go unpunished, but you get punished for the dirt that you do. So it's best to not do dirt with these people because they do the dirt with you to get the dirt on you.
Facts.
They know you did it. They was there when you did it.
Yeah. 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 Look, listen, it's a good time to be alive. Right? Because we have this window of opportunity, you know, for some change going on here, you know, and like I told you earlier, you know, I was in ignorance, you know what I mean? Like I did think that, you know, we all came from Africa, you know what I mean? I was ignorant of the space program in NASA, you know what I mean? And then in the religion, I was locked in. You know, I believe Jesus created and Adam created Eve and blah, 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 blah,
You know, I was on
Yeah,
that.
man.
Not the Back to Africa. I was on that Africa of Our Brethren thing. I was on that at a time. You know,
Yeah.
my father told me when I was on that, he said those people don't give a damn about us. My father told me that.
Mm.
You know, of course I didn't argue with him because he's that. He's an elder.
Yeah.
He told me straight up when I came to him with that I was never a hotepper, but I fell for a lot of things that I seen that I found out it wasn't true. That black and brown alliance, I fell for that too, bro.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. Me
I fell
too.
for that too.
Yeah.
I found
Did you
out
have
that
a
it's no such thing as that, bro.
yeah, no such thing. And did
They
you
de-
did you
they
own
they,
a
de- they
dashiki?
delineate. What's that, brother?
Did you own a dashiki?
Well, I owned a dashiki before I knew what it meant. It was because when we had
Right,
like
right, yeah,
some
right,
type of
right, right, right.
we had class in school where we made dashikis. That's before
Yeah,
I didn't even know what it was then or the significance of it. I think I was probably like 6th or 7th grade when we had
yeah,
dashikis. We made
yeah,
dashikis. I
yeah.
didn't know what it meant. It was a damn shirt to me.
Mm. Oh, let me ask you,
But
right? Because
I fell for that at one time.
oh yeah, look, I was at a Black Power meeting when Sarah Suni came to LA. And I felt while sitting in there with all the brothers, and I'm thinking that Sarah Suni, he's in LA, we down here, we in here, and this is the solution. And when he said Black Power, everyone say Black Power, and I felt kind of weird, saying it, So I got caught up too in the BS. But I wanted to ask you, Brother Nasir, because I saw a clip. Some clips actually, some brothers in Chicago threatening, okay, saying, you coming down in here, expect, it to go down. Like, these are the brothers, not the mayor. The brothers are saying this in Chicago. How do you feel about that?
Well, I see it like this. Hold on 1 second, brother.
Mhm.
I hope the brother can back up what he said. I hope he could. Because if the National Guard come to Chicago as an occupying force, after the governor said they're not needed because the National Guard is supposed to come in at the discretion and request of the governor, not the president. The president is overreaching his power by doing that. It's not for him to do. And not only that, every state has its own National Guard. See, he wants to overreach and send the people that he wants to send, that he's in control of over, so he can say he did something that's already done. Crime's down. And everywhere he's sending troops, crime's down. As bad as it is, crime is down. We still have work to do, but crime is down. And also, it's not ironic that he's sending these troops in to cities where our people is running a government. Black mayors, black governors. And he's doing that to undermine them and deem them incompetent. And he's sending them to places that crime is down so he can say he did it. but they would be an occupying force going somewhere where they're not requested. And I seen videos of the dudes planting flowers and doing landscaping. They're not even doing no goddamn garden, man. They doing landscaping and cutting grass and shit.
Yeah.
The National Guard. And they don't have police training. They don't know penal code. They don't know case law. They don't know municipal law. They don't know none of that. Because they're supposed to guard, keep the borders safe. You come in if it's crunch time, if you're needed. But all that money's being spent on for nonsense to make him look good, because it's all about optics when it comes to Donald Trump. It's optics, how things look, how he look. So he could say he did something when he didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
But stirring up shit. Him and Netanyahu, the same kind of person. Lies and like stirring up shit. They're the same kind of person. The man actually said, yeah, there's genocide going on. So if you know there's genocide going on in Gaza, in Palestine, why are you constantly sending that man money and empowering him to do that to those people? I'm glad you asked, because Donald Trump would do that. He would do that. He made a tweet about the mentally ill brother who stabbed the white woman, but he ain't tweet about what happened to the sister and what happened to the brother. That lets you know what his focal point is and how he think. He wants to criminalize us. He said our children were natural born thieves and crooks and murderers and criminals. Natural born. Which is the reason why he's trying to send the National Guard into Maryland.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're going to supersede the chain of command of another elected official. Maryland elected their governor. You're not supposed to supersede that. That's totally disrespectful.
Yeah.
Totally disrespectful. But some of our people rock with that bullshit. Why? Because some of our people have the same mindset. We are lawless. Some of our people are lawless. That's why we rock with that. We have that I don't give a damn about the rules mentality ourselves, some of us. I'm looking at everybody I'm looking at you crazy supporting what this man do.
Yeah, I just
about indemnifying the damn police and saying they can do their jobs properly. So they can do their jobs properly. I know what that means. When you say somebody can do that, when they say do their job properly, I know what that means. People don't even understand the code language that the man's using.
Facts.
When he say they can do their job properly, that means do something to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they getting closer and closer.
And that means immunity no matter what they do. I know what that shit means. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. You know why? You can trust them demons. I don't trust them. And I'll never trust them. Why? Because they haven't proved themselves trustworthy. Never.
That's a fact. And all they do is then they got, like I said, then they got our own people who willing to turn against us and say, they basically saying, hey, I ain't with them niggas. You know, I ain't with them. We ain't with them. We separate from them. We set apart from them. You know, so we got to really take what our enemy is showing us. They that's what I'm saying. They white minds separate them from the playing field with us because we don't want a piece of the pie. We want the recipe.
My brother Key, only the just plain stupid will think that these people are going to distinguish them from us. They're not going to distinguish you. Oh, you can say all you want that you're not one of us. They're not going to distinguish you from us. They'll use you. They'll use you to your own detriment. And some of you are useful on that level too. Some of these Negroes are useful on that level. I know I don't know them personally, but I've seen of quite a few, bro. That's useful to serve to our detriment. Quite a few. And guess what? I hope their wake up call. Soon as they get their wake up call, it's over for them.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. We got to start counseling. We got a cancel culture. We need to reverse our cancel culture from canceling each other for specific individual reasons, and we got to start canceling those who go against us. We don't cancel those who go against us. We got Charleston White who telling us that he locking up black men every day, whether he lying or not, or just trying to implicate himself in something for entertainment purposes, which we're still following those entertainment purposes that he had. You know, we're not able to properly uh preparate to prevent our poor performances because we already entertained and these people inside of us turning our wheels. So, you know, I feel like once we're able to get a grasp on a proper balance of mind, body, and soul, it won't be nothing that these people can do that can take us off balance.
Time's going to come, brother, where those who use our detriment as entertainment, the time's going to come that we will punish them. It's going to come that they will be punished for that, bro. The only reason why Negroes do that type of foolishness because they don't fear no consequence. There's no consequence to fear. Why? Because they, in their mind, it's somebody they can run to when we come after them. It's gonna come a time. It's not gonna be nowhere to run and nowhere and nobody to run to. That time's gonna come. The time's gonna come because
because
we got brothers out here with a certain spirit, with no direction, and once those brothers with that spirit, once they wake up, it's over, bro. That's all I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
That's all I'm waiting for.
You know, looking at this list, right, of the 19 states, right? What's in South Dakota?
You know, what's in South Dakota? The opioids and damn fentanyl and stuff.
And you need the National Guard for that? No, that don't even sound right. You know, and then Utah.
He's probably really protecting them, though. He probably really protected them.
Right.
South Dakota.
Nothing happens in Utah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what? He's probably sending those people there. He's probably hiding money there because all those, they're all expenses. When you send a National Guard somewhere, they don't. That's not free. It's not free. It is not free to
Idaho.
deploy. It's not free to deploy soldiers places. It's not free. That costs. You gotta send everything, and plus they have to eat. They have to have accommodations. All of that. I'm telling you.
That's why I was saying they finna kill it.
Donald Trump is embezzling money, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they finna kill us, man. They finna take so much stuff from the American people. There's been a lot of things that the American people been storing up to withhold against the government. With this action, they're gonna be able to go in and take a lot of those things from those people. And they're gonna get ready to reset, and they're gonna put out here what they want to put out. Then they're gonna go back into the next time of life and be able to try to reinvent these technologies that they already had out. We know what time it is, man. Um, we have to be able to look at these signs and recognize what's going on. So with the signs and with they prophecy is they planning. They planning, they telling you they plans all the while executing them. So we got to be able to hear their plans and find ways to deter them. And I'll land there.
Brother, can you imagine, bro? You gonna tell a state that you're sending the National Guard there without the governor's consent, or not without the governor asking you, and then the president get on TV and say the problems in that state or in that city, when he's oblivious to the problems in that state or in that city, but he say he gonna send somebody there to deal with problems that don't exist.
Facts.
If some of our people rock with this, and especially Chicago, that kills me about whenever we speak to people about doing harm to us, the first thing they'll say is, look at Chicago. Chicago this, Chicago that.
Yeah. And
And
Chicago
it always respond, bro. Chicago's been the litmus test for a long time, bro. Chicago this, Chicago that, as if they give a damn about us killing each other or dying. They don't. They just want to justify what they doing, so they'll mention Chicago or they'll mention any city that we have problems in when they're the root of our problems.
Yeah, I think Chicago, one of those cities that's been infiltrated. As far as what I'm exactly saying is, I feel like in Chicago, a lot of those scenarios that played out with our children were infiltrated by the powers that be, and they hyped it up, whether they was giving them guns or whether they was doing fake hits and missions and blaming it on other persons or not. Those type of things I feel like was implicated in the revving up of the Chicago street wars. We got to think about the crack epidemic that we had. We got to think about those gang wars of the 80s, those gang wars of the 90s.
But we
All
also
this
gotta consider, my brother Key. We gotta also consider, my brother Key, that they're the root of that also.
right.
Whatever these street organizations are today, were made that by the federal government.
That's right. It ain't no different from the military. Like I was saying the other night, it ain't no different from the military, because just like the military march, the military do their formations with their guns. But those street gangs, they do their formations with their fingers. They do they footwork with their steps, they dance steps they take. This is all mind psychosis. The men who stare at goats. Yeah.
Brother, I mean, I know you know, but I'm going to state it anyway. The Crips came out of the Panther Party. Okay? And then the Bloods came out of the Crips. But they're both what they call bastards of the party. Both of them. Yeah. And they were not what they are today. They're better today, but when they was on that, going after, brothers killing brothers and stuff like that. What made it so bad, brother? Bloods were going after Crips. Crips was going after the Bloods. And then they were clicking inside the ranks. You know how stupid that is? That's why I say some of our people are plain stupid. Then they started hitting each other based on proximity on streets. I'm a Grape Street. I'm a this street. I'm a that street. But y'all the same organization. But they started hitting each other based on the name of their goddamn streets.
Yeah.
Talking about infiltration, but none of these so-called gangs, in which they wasn't at first, they wasn't gangs until CIA operatives went in and made them gangs, infiltrated them. That's why I say when somebody come to us, when somebody come to us suggesting that we do anything that's going to be detrimental to our organization, like something illegal, just know that's an agent. Know it's an agent.
Yeah.
Doing something that don't make no sense.
Kill
Just
each
know
other.
that's an agent. Somebody coming to us telling us, let's go do this, and illegal, or it's detriment to our organization. It's an agent. Understand that.
That's a fact.
It's an
We got
agent.
them who say kill each other in our name. Like we got brothers who killing each other over a street name that's owned by the corporation or somebody who is a part of the corporation. So that energy going back to them. So you really killing yourself in their name. Like it ain't nothing that you own. I can see if it was your land, your family land or something, some things really took place about that, but we got bigger problems. We don't have the comfortability to be beefing with each other when we got to come an enemy at hand. That's why they always going to be ahead of us, because they got people on our side who are already against us. So if we steady against ourselves, like I always like to say, if we going to shoot the ball in our own hoop, we might as well just give them the game. And that's why you got sellouts.
Exactly. And nobody should be able to sell us out without suffering a dire consequence, bro. When we find that person out, brother, that consequence should be dire. Especially when we're trying to build something and we're not breaking no laws. All we want to do is free ourselves out of the clutches of an open and consistent enemy. Anybody getting away with that, infiltrating our organizations, corrupting our organizations, that consequence should be dire. It should be nowhere and nobody they can run to.
Yeah.
Example out of them. They should be wherever what's that man name? The white boy who told everybody that the United States was spying on him. He's in exile now somewhere.
Snowden?
They should be just like Eric Snowden.
Yeah.
That's where they should be at.
That's right. That's what kind of person who I want to see. That's the person I trust. If they like, hey, I fuck with them, but they on some bullshit too, right? I know that. I can't lie to you. I'm gonna tell you, I know, I deal with them, but they is on some bull crap. When you got that person who's trying to defend and stick up for them, especially a person that look like us, man, that's how you know you're dealing with an agent.
Yeah, exactly. They're an agent. But Eric Snowden is hiding out because he, told the goddamn truth.
Went against the grain. But you got people who going against the grain to find some more grain,
Eric Snowden got more integrity than any Boule member.
Wow.
Sure do. Sure do.
Wow. Let's talk about it.
That's the truth, bro. He got more integrity than anybody in the executive office. Put it that way.
Yeah, because he worked with the NSA. Like, this is national security here.
And guess what he
You know what I
did?
mean?
He secured the country by exposing the corruption.
Saving everybody.
But like I said, bro, cages is disguised as comfort zones, but it's really a cage. Can you imagine, bro? You go into you go into a place, man. They got a sectional in there, a big screen TV, a bar, and all kind of accommodations in there. And once you walk in, somebody slam that motherfucker behind you and lock you in.
Oh yeah, I know
That's how
exactly what you're saying.
that's how they pretty it up, bro.
That's how a
They pretty it
lion
up
act
just like that.
a lion act like that in the cage. When the lion go in the cage after he been in there for a minute, when you open it, the lion get mad at you for opening the cage. The lion will fight the cage and just sit in there for a minute. Lions don't just walk out of cages and say, "Yeah, I'm free." They get mad like, "Why this cage open?" Like, so that's why I like to tell people, it ain't your job to tell the monkey that he in a cage, because you ain't gonna do nothing but piss the monkey off. You gonna have to tell the monkey to get how to get out the cage, or you gonna have to be quiet. Cause soon as you tell that monkey that he in a cage, he gonna start throwing shit on you.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine, brother T Wriggles? People tied up with, let's say, a 10-foot rope. They tied up with a 10-foot rope.
Mm-hmm.
And when they go past 10 foot, they put themselves in a yoke. Imagine that.
Uh,
Yeah.
But if you take off the damn 10-foot rope, they still not gonna go past that 10 foot.
Still ain't gonna go past it, man. It's like a saying I used to usually say, man, give a nigga 13 minutes to talk and he'll tell you everything, man. You get by that 13 minute, they gonna expose the truth about themselves. So
Yeah.
sometimes we gotta just sit back and listen with the proper discernment so we can be able to tell who is who, so we can know how to navigate.
facts.
Yes, sir.
You know, I
Yes,
just
sir.
looked up. I just looked up, like, because I know how the mind of, let's just say, the oppressor, like, you're knocking out three birds with one stone, right? And so I looked at one of these states that the National Guard is in, right? And Idaho. Okay, Idaho has a 1.5 black population. There's 20. Idaho, listen to this stat. Idaho is the second fastest growing state in the nation between 2010 and 2020. Like, what's going on over there that you need to be over there?
There's a lot of
Like, this is
drugs over there,
very,
man. Like
There's a lot
Bro.Nasir
of drugs
said.
there. A lot
Yeah,
of
it's a
drugs
lot
there.
of drugs. I just got a friend that I went to high school with. And shout out to my brother Dooney. You know, I don't know what he's done personally. I just know I love him as a person. We grew up together. We real good friends. Even though I don't know his business as a grown man, you know, he just got like supposedly a life sentence for selling drugs over there. So, um, you know, it's a lot
Yeah.
of drug activity over there. All those white people over there hooked on drugs, hooked on meth.
And guess
So it's a
what, brother?
lot of yeah.
And guess
Uh-huh.
what, brother T? And they're hooked on all those drugs. And like you said, your friend got sentenced
Life sentence though.
to a life sentence for selling drugs.
Yeah.
And I could see what Donald Trump is doing by sending them
Yeah,
there.
I see what he doing. I see
Wherever
what he doing.
population, the little small population it is in Idaho that got our people in,
Yeah.
he gonna criminalize that little bit.
Oh, they finna get more than a life sentence though.
You gonna criminalize that little bit. They're right there.
See,
That little bit.
what this martial law state we gonna be in, you know the laws change, right? Don't you know it's still legal to hang a 300-pound 6 foot tall black man in New Hampshire, right?
Stop.
See, I don't think we know what the fuck we dealing with. See, I
That's
think,
what I
yeah, I
said
think, I
earlier,
think,
brother
I
King.
think
That's what I
people
said
think
earlier,
they
bro.
think this is a play. They think this a play. They think this a real game or something. But
They
see, is
do.
what they implement and what we allow now. We pushing back towards some things that we was already away from. Now we going back. They just
I
doing
agree.
it under the guise of another system of change. You see what I'm saying? They saying, hey, it's crime, and then everybody equal. We know a lot of white people want to help black people, so guess what we gonna do is the system. We gonna round they white ass up too if they want to be with the black people. It ain't gonna be no black and no white thing. It's gonna be a people versus the system thing. That's what it's gonna be. So there's some black people on this side. There's some black people ass we finna tie up. We got a lot of white
And
people
they're
with
trying
us,
their
but we
best to
finna tie
prevent
some
that,
white
bro.
people up too. Yes, sir.
They're trying their best to prevent that. They'll even fabricate stuff that cause a rift, bro. They'll even
Yeah, that,
fabricate things that cause a rift between people, bro. That's
nope.
wicked.
Cause they want the black people to take each other out, or just for lack of better words, the indigenous American, or if you want to be an African American, who you want to be. But what I'm saying is the people who look like us, they know we gonna help take each other out. So they don't want some of their side helping our side too. That's gonna make it harder, a more difficult fight for 'em.
Absolutely, and I agree with brother Nasir's statements while we was on the phone chopping it up. Like we are really sick, y'all.
We're
We
sick.
sick. You know what I mean? We have a very serious mental problem, and we need to deal with this problem we have. You feel me? Right? Because they gonna do what they do. You already know. If you don't know where you're at and who's in charge and what empire and blah 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 blah. Well, look. That's you pull you out of that. But we got to fix this mental problem we have, man, because it's detrimental. And this is why we have a perfect opportunity, right, to fix, to heal, to cure, not treat this mental problem. We want to get
Yes.
rid of this
Yes.
parasite in our
Yes, sir.
minds and our bodies and our soul. You feel me? And then once we do that, now we can now get together and unify, you know what I'm saying, and make our moves the way we supposed to. The children will follow along, the youth, everyone under, they'll follow along, suit, everything will be fine, you know what I mean? But we gotta cure this mental disease. Not like,
Yeah, the system. It's a cyst. We have to drain the cyst. We got to cure the cyst. Them. That's what it is. And everything in that cyst is poisonous.
yeah.
And the only thing you're going to get out of it is sickness. And that's the reason why our people are sick, because we think there's a comfortable place for us in the system when there's not. It's not no comfortable place for you.
Yeah, what did Keith say before? He says, yeah, see, you want to sit at the table. You know what I mean? Oh, you want to sit at the table and have conversations and dialogue, and you want to be included into this sit down. I don't want to sit at that table. I don't
But
want
it's
to
like
take.
this though, bro. It's like this, bro. People think they occupy a seat at the table. Meanwhile, bro. Meanwhile, they looking at you and they invite you to the table so you can end up being on the menu. That's what they do, bro.
Look, and you know, Lalita Africa, right? You know, one of Dr. Thaby students or proteges. You know, I'm sitting there listening to one of his lectures. You know, the health is wealth type of deal, and he say every year every damn year they get together, right? And there's topics on the table, and one of the topics is what we're gonna do to the black people this year. What we gonna do to the brothers this year? How can we make sure we keep them down? How in this and how in that? And then and they're masters of pushing your emotional buttons, without even being around you. And then we fall for it, this, and then we get sick again. And then we have hope. Nah, that this time it gonna work. I believe, I have faith, and da da da. Come on, man.
That's the bipartisan part. That's the bipartisan part. They're bipartisan. They may argue amongst themselves in front of us, but they are bipartisan when it comes to us, our people, even their constituents that look like us. They have a meeting with them, and then they have a meeting in their absence. So I don't understand how they think it's a comfortable place for them. It's no comfortable place, bro.
Look, this might sound bad what I'm about to say. You know what I mean? But I've been saying this. Be like, look. Dr. Sabi, Lalita Africa, Bobby Hemmett, all of our ancestors and great teachers that have been here. And and the one thing that they always say, save yourself. And so with that ringing in my head, look, I'm going to do what Dr. Blair says. Look, I'm going to get with my like-minded brothers. And I'm going to work with them. I'm going to dine with them. I'm going to share with them. I'm going to do everything I possibly do. We're going to do the work. But if you ain't part of the tribe, if you still ignorant, what I'm saying? Look, listen. Look. You feel me? I'm going to be with my like-minded brothers, like-minded sisters, like-minded anyone, and then we're gonna change this thing. You feel me? The way we see fit. You know what I mean? And if you're still in ignorance, that's okay. I'll help you. Not like I'll help my like-minded. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry.
But you
feel me what I'm saying? Like,
the duty of a civilized man is to teach the uncivilized. That's our duty. And we have to meet people, as the brother Keith say, meet them where they're at, because I wasn't always where I'm at. It comes a time where, okay, now it's my turn to be patient, because people were patient with me. Now it's my turn to be patient. Because I didn't always know what I know. I didn't always, have the same thought process that I have now. Again, I told you earlier, I used to be, on the Ooga Booga shit, man. And the black and brown and yellow and all that stuff, coalition and all that stuff. I was on that until they showed me that the only people who were loyal to that was us. We was the only one loyal to that black and brown coalition, black, brown, yellow, and in Africa. We was the only ones loyal to that shit. But those people delineated from us. They never joined us in concert to fight for nothing. We fought for them to come here, and they gave us their ass a kiss when they got here. We was the only one loyal to all those coalitions. We was the loyal ones. They wasn't loyal to us. They turned their backs on us, and they got with those who they thought was winning, not making our team a winning team. They wasn't Michael Jordan making the Bulls a winning team. They didn't do that. No, they went to a team that they thought was winning. We can't have people like that around us, bro.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Look,
we gotta make our team a winning team.
Look, I can only listen, man. I can only lead you to the water. That's all I can do. I can guide you to the water. You feel me? But you, and me, we got to drink this thing. Like, we got to put in this work. You feel me? We got to control our emotions. Clean up this body. I'm cleaning up right now still. You feel me?
You
Like,
broke, bro.
I'm ignorant of some things too. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm this perfect man and this. No. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working on myself, but I do know one thing. You feel me? I'm constantly thinking about, okay, how can I make myself better and what's the solution here? What's the best solution possible?
I know if I don't know nothing, I know one thing. I have some things to learn. I know that.
I second that. I second that for myself too, brother.
You know, a man who knows something knows that he knows nothing. So I don't claim to be that dude that know every goddamn thing, like some of the behavior that I see displayed on these goddamn platforms.
Yeah.
I'm not a Mr. Know-it-all, but I'm a Mr. Listen and Learn It All. I'll tell you that
You know,
much.
and I was
I'm Mr. Learn It All.
look, and I was just telling I was telling Key this, early on today, like look, I'm putting some content out there, I'm leaving some work out there, for people to think about some things. And after a while, you're not gonna see me or hear me on this thing here. Why? Because I've already done I've done some of the schooling part. You feel me? Now, it's time for me to hit the field. You know what I'm saying? I really want to help. I've got some ideas I want to implement. I want to work. I love the fact that we come up here and talk, because this is what we got to do. You feel me? We got to talk about the solution. You feel me? And let everyone know where our minds are at. And then after that, for me, this is it. After a while, you're not going to hear me on this thing. You're going to probably see me in your state. You're going to see me in your city. You're going to hear about, okay, the Riggles and his team did this, and then they did that, and then they're doing this, and they've got the farms, and they got the this, and they got the that, and putting in the work. You know what I mean? Like, so this is my, and thank you, Brother Nasir, for having me on. You know what I mean? And sharing your platform. This is like therapeutic. It's words of wisdom for everyone that can hear it and can feel it, right? Because change is here. You know what I mean? And thank you, Brother Nasir. I can't thank you enough, brother.
Brother, I appreciate you for coming up and hanging out with me and engaging and contributing to the conversation, because it's important for our people to not be the suckers of the people who are against us in their endeavors against us. We got to stop being the suckers, because when people can predetermine what we're going to do, that's not a good thing. When people see us like that, either see us as people who don't remember, have an attention deficit, have memory loss, or they just see us as plain stupid. And I think it's all of them. They see us as plain stupid by the way they approach us, because if I'm gonna go back to like October, November of last year. If how a person deals with you and stereotype you is how they see you. If somebody come to you, Brother Key, Brother T. Riggles, who's not one of us, and start talking like a B-boy, like a homie, yo this, yo that, and it's a white boy. you're gonna look at him crazy unless you know him, right? Unless you know him, that's how he really is. You're gonna look at him crazy, like he think he's supposed to approach you like that because you're a brother.
Yeah.
I know it's white boys from the hood that really like that because they grew up around the brothers. So they consider it one of the brothers. But you get a white dude, they come up to you, they start, yo, man, yo, this, yo, that, you just, you know, talking in a very stereotypical way. You're gonna look at him like, man, what makes you think you can approach me like that? How you know I'm like that?
Yeah.
How you know I'm not a goddamn nerd?
Yeah. Yeah.
How people, stereotype you is how they see you. I.e., Kamala Harris, how she was pandering, how they pander to you, how they see you.
Yeah.
How they pander to you is how they see you. That's a better word, better way of putting it. So if they pander to you on an intellectual level, they might say, okay, this person here is kind of on the intellectual, intelligent level, but they come to you using all slang and they misusing it, you know, saying word to your mother instead of word to the mother.
Right. Right.
or using a slang wrong, hacking it. That's how they see you, how they
Yeah.
pander to you. Well, I'm gonna land this right here, my brothers. My brother Warfare K, salute. Um, salute to his brethren. Salute to my
Salute.
brother Big Dog Philly OG. Salute to Soul Brother Great Lakes Midwest American. Salute to Straight Smoke. Salute to DJ Cuddy, Brown's Flat Power God, Relentless. Salute to you all for thank you all for coming up. I appreciate you for coming through, hanging out with the brother and my brothers Key Norfolk and brother T Riglish. Yeah, I wanna give closing statements before we end the stream.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Like I said earlier, man. Thank you. It's an honor to be with you, brother Nasir. I know you've done a lot of work over the years. You know what I mean? You've raised family. You know what I mean? And your wife's coming out with the book part 2. Can't wait. I mean, you're doing really great things, and you're a perfect model for children to emulate. You know,
I ain't
and I'm
perfect, brother. Don't put that on me, brother.
Hey,
Ooh,
hey,
no,
man, look, listen, look, man, look, man, you the new Cosby right now.
no, I'm not, brother. So, put that on me, brother. Not no perfect, brother. Oh no, brother. I'm so far from perfect. If they say the one who's perfect, stand up. I get out my seat and sit on the floor, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But look, brother, this here for what I know of you, man. You know what I'm saying? If you
I
was out
appreciate it, though,
here
brother.
and the brothers out here, like all the youngins, man, they see you and your fams and how you operate. I mean, your inspiration. I know for sure out in LA, you will be an inspiration to everyone, man. And thank you so much for
I
having me on.
appreciate it, my brother. I
You know what I mean?
appreciate it, my brother.
Shouts out to the chat. I keep forgetting about y'all. Y'all undefeated out there. The chat. Hold on, let me go on the camera real quick. Chat. Salute. Salute all day. Undefeated.
My brother Key.
Oh yeah, Key been hit with that bombastic Wi-Fi jammer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my Wi-Fi cut up sometimes. So if
Man.
I probably was showing videos, it'd probably be cutting up. But
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for coming through. I appreciate it. And the stream was successful. We did what we needed to do on this stream. And salute to my brothers. Salute to everybody. Salute to my wife, the executive producer of The Enemy's Public. Salute to her. Fire 2, the finale, coming really soon. Real soon. Get your book copy of Fire to catch up with the story in the storyline, because Fire 2, the finale, will be coming out soon. Make sure you get your copy. Hold on for a second. Make sure you get your copy of Fire. Amazon, paperback or Kindle. Get your copy of Fire. Go to Amazon, Angela King James. Go to books and get your copy of Fire. A very good read. Fire 2, the finale, will be available soon at Amazon on paperback or Kindle. Until next time, this is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Peace and power.
Enemy Public, I saw your thing on YouTube, man.